Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Yes, is this girl a little bit late? Yes, I have a really good reason because I'm trying to set up because I want to show you something today. Today's show is all about processes. And I want to just kind of give you a little sneak peek on a process that I have had to follow in order to kind of kick things off in my business. And I want to do that for you as well. So let me go ahead and, you know what, we're going to share this out to a couple of folks. So I hope you are doing well this morning. I got more lip gloss the other night. Oh my gosh, I'm like in lip gloss heaven. But I hope you are doing well. So let me go ahead and find where we're going live. Sometimes it's hard to find this little bugger. So I'm going to share out to our beautiful friends over at Budget School. So if you haven't noticed by now over at Budget School, we have moved. So come and join us over here at Keep Up with Mrs. Jones. Yes, the live stream did start over at Budget School CO July 1st, but now we moved back home to my own personal brand, and that is Keep Up with Mrs. Jones. So make sure if you're over on Budget School, make sure you go ahead and tune in live here. I'm going to go ahead and get us started over on Instagram. So for those of you, if you are tuning in, you're just showing up for the first time and you have no idea who I am Phylecia Jones, budgetologist and solopreneur money management expert, and you are watching Ask the Budgetologist. I come to you live every morning since July 1st and I answer any questions you have about business, budgeting, and solo entrepreneurship. And of course, I give you tons of unsolicited financial advice. That's what I do. And today we're going to talk about processes. Oh my gosh, they are not sexy. They aren't fun. We don't want to do them. It sounds way too adult. It sounds like we got to put on our big girl pants. But I'm here to tell you, processes are the secret weapon to making money in your business. Now, for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about here, because you're like, okay, this is a show about budgeting and things like that. Yes, we talk about the two sides of budget on this show. One, you got to manage the budget. The second thing you got to do is feed the budget, because if you're not feeding the budget, you kind of don't have a budget. It's just called overspending. So we're going to talk about that today. And so, of course, I got to thank all of my friends over at Instagram. Hey, late nights, early morning. Come to you live here on Instagram over at Keep Up with Mrs. Jones. And if you ever want to join the party over on Facebook, go to facebook.com/Keep Up with Mrs. Jones. Now, I do want to tell you something. For my folks here on Instagram, I'm going to show something a little bit different. I'm going to share my screen because I'm going to talk about processes. So if you're just dying to see this, you got to go over to facebook.com/Keep Up with Mrs. Jones. For all of you listening to the podcast, you already know the deal. You are listening to a live streaming podcast. You are listening to a live streaming podcast. So what you're going to have to do to see what I'm going to show you today, you got to go watch the video. You can go over to, go over to keepupwithmrsjones.com and it'll lead you over to YouTube. It'll lead you to the facebook.com live video. All right. Hey, Yvonne. Hey, Heather. How are you all doing this morning? And thank you so very much, Heather. Girl, the Sephora counter. I haven't been to the mall in like 10 years. And I went to the mall earlier this year to go buy makeup. And I've been back twice since then. There you go. Only to the Sephora counter. I can't deal with everything else. So I went on a lip gloss run because I bought a bunch and I lost all of it. I'm sure it's in a purse or bag somewhere. All right, everybody. First, PSA announcements. August 12th, Podcast Week. You're starting to see the promos coming out. I am partnering with the amazing company over at Podcast Websites, and we're going to do Podcast Week here. We're going to launch Leverage, and you're going to launch Leverage and, oh my gosh, I forgot the rest of it, and land speaking gigs through your podcast. So we're going to talk about the joys and benefits of podcasting and how it can help you land speaking gigs and how speaking gigs can help you feed your budget. So August 12th, check out, there are going to be some more promos coming, a few more promos coming so that you can register your seat. All you got to do is just really show up. But I'm going to have a few behind the scenes things. So if you do register, I'm going to give you some amazing coupon codes so that you can get a little bit of help launching your podcast. So excited about that. It's going to be fun. August 12th, just put it on your calendar all week. And I'm going to start previewing over the next few days, the things that we're going to talk about. Alrighty, people, let's get down to business and feeding budgets today. Making money. All right. If you are stressing out about making money, if you're not sure how you're making money, if you can't remember how you made money in your business, nine times out of 10, it's because you don't have processes in place in your business. Now, I know we hear these buzzwords all the time, processes and system, and you're like, yeah, processes, system. Yeah, yeah. And then we're like, I don't know. Yeah. Like, seriously, a process? I don't even know what you're talking about. I was one of those who was like, I don't want a process to get in the way of my creativity. But the reality is the process is needed to get in the way of my creativity because my brain will blow up like this. And when my brain blows up, nothing gets done. If you are like that, please, please, please let me know. You have all these ideas and you start with one, you start with two, you start with three. You got to have these processes in place. You know, I had to dig out my systems engineering book. For those of you who don't know, I have a bachelor's degree in computer science. I have a master's degree in systems engineering. I was a research scientist for the Navy. Actually, in my last project, my last job that I had working for them, I was a requirements manager. My job was to sit down and process all of the requirements for a project. Hey, is it Savoir Rags? Hey over there on Instagram. That was my job. And, and I started my business and of course, like throw all my 9 to 5 stuff to the wind. But earlier this year, I had to crack out a systems engineering book and go back to doing verifications and validations and systems engineering spirals because I knew then if governments and major companies do this, that means I need to do it myself. So processes, yeah, they suck. We don't want to talk about them. But you and I know that it is the secret to us being successful in our business. It is hands down the secret to us being successful. So today we're going to talk about processes. I'm going to show you for my friends over at Instagram. I'm not going to be able to show you because I'm here live on Facebook.com as well. So you're going to have to come join me over at Keep Up with Mrs. Jones. And I'm going to show you how I inadvertently started a process for getting speaking gigs. And it's the thing that keeps me going and literally it's not the sexiest process, but it's a way for me to keep track because I was getting speaking gigs and then I was just like, okay, I wasn't able to keep up with everything. And so right now my VA and we are going back, we are digging deep. We're working on creating the process document for launching Ask the Budgetologist. And I'll show you that one over the weekend. But because what was happening, to be honest, I would just click the live button and go live. I didn't write down anything. I think after 100 shows, I was like, maybe I should write this down. Yeah. So we're backtracking. And unfortunately, when you backtrack, it does get in the way of you making money. But we have gotten almost to the point. I'm about 60% of the way that if I ever wanted to have a guest host, the process is written down. All you have to do is follow it step by step by step and show up. But that's what I'm saying. That's how processes are your secret weapon to making money. Onboarding your clients, offboarding your clients, getting them what they need right then and there. It has been the biggest challenge for me. But when I started really trying to tackle the processes, it helped. And it helped so much that when I even got my VA, in the beginning when I got my VA, she was like, so what's your process for this? Like, yeah. And we've had to kind of take a little bit of time and really nail down these processes. So processes are the secret weapon for you being successful and for you making money. And I know we probably don't like them. We don't want to hear about it. But what I'm going to encourage you today is to take that one thing that you do in your business, one thing, and I want you to painstakingly write down step by step what you do to deliver that one thing. Trust me, it is painful. It is so painful, but I want you to get into the mindset that if something happens in your business, if you are in the hospital, you have a family emergency and somebody else needed to step in, what will they do? What will they do? Because I've always told you, it's not a matter of if things will happen. It's just a matter of when. And last year I had some friends that went through some very tragic things in their business. And as solopreneurs, a lot of solopreneurs, we don't have staff. We don't have other people that can step in. But what we do have are some very loyal friends, that when something crazy happens, that if they knew exactly what to do, they can deliver your product for you for a short amount of time. So I want you to think about that and be honest. Have you ever thought about that in your business? As a solo entrepreneur, have you written everything down so that if something happened, Heather, if something happened to you, would you be able to call me and say, Phylecia, crap is happening. I would like you to step in for 3 days just to handle this one thing, just to keep things going. Have you ever thought about that? Like, seriously, have you ever thought about somebody else being able to help you out? And I know a lot of your friends won't come in and steal your business. Everybody has some really good friends that when crap happens, we can step in, but we can't step in if we don't know what to do. The same thing with your employees, your contractors, the people that you're hiring, your VAs, your assistants. They cannot step in if they don't know what to do. So I really want you to think about that. I want you to think about these processes. Have you written them down? Do you even, I know in your brain, because it was kind of hard for me when I brought on my assistant and I was just like, my process for getting speaking gigs, my process for onboarding clients is all in this head. And we were just like, okay, it needs to get out of my head, because I never thought about it, because I wanted to get my husband on to help as well. I wanted to get my husband on to help out and everything, but there was nothing written down. I was going to say, nothing written down. There was nothing written down for him to follow, and that really challenged me. So my challenge for you is to write down the processes so that if somebody needed to step in, they can. So what I wanted to show you today was I wanted to show you how deep my process is for getting speaking gigs. I'm not going to go into details. I'm not going to go into deep details, but I just want to give you a big overall picture of how crazy it can look and how painful it can be. Now, I'm saying like it's painful. Yes, it is a little painful because it took a lot of time to go backtrack to set it up, but it was actually, to be honest, it is my saving grace for getting things out there. It is hands down my saving grace. And that's why I want to keep encouraging you to make sure you write down this process. And it can be out of control, or it can be as simple as you need it. And sometimes it doesn't have to be that crazy. It's only crazy when you didn't do it. And so now you got to backtrack and kind of get things out of your head. That's the hard part. And Lisa, hey, Lisa, how you doing? She's saying SOP, standard operating procedures. Yes. Processes, standing operating procedures, in case crap happens procedures, all of those procedures, brand guides, everything. You need to write it down. So let me go ahead. I'm going to turn off a couple of things. All right. I got things going on over here, and I am going to share my screen with you. Okay. I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to see if it works. Hopefully this works and you can see the screen that I'm putting before you. And it's not going to be sexy because I can't figure out how to do all these buttons, but it's just to give you an idea, of what I do. So I know you are all on a delay and I can't see any of your questions, but what happened with me was I started getting speaking gigs and I was putting them on a calendar, and then I started unfortunately, I kind of triple booked myself one time, and I was like, all right, Phylecia, we gotta handle this. And so what you're seeing is I use Trello, and this is how I set up finding speaking gigs. I do my searches over here. Anything that I find, I literally have a list of about 288 opportunities. These are people who requested me. These are things that after I do my research, I go into my CRM, then I have a ready to pitch so that I can get my pitch strategy. And then I pitch, I wait, then I pitch again. And then the ones that I've won, Actually, the ones that I have won actually go to a different board. You do not have to set up anything like this, but I'm just giving you an idea of what processes look like. And so the ones that I have won go over to this board here. This is where the rubber hits the road. So when I have won things, now I have to go through all of the steps to get prepared for these speaking gigs. Now, it's just like I treat my speaking gigs like clients. They are clients of mine, and literally I have steps by steps. I have checklists. I have accepted checklists. I have promo and marketing checklists. I have delivery checklists. I have audience follow-up checklists. I have all of these things so that when my assistant has to help me, or if I ever have to bring anybody else in to help me do this, it's not all just in my head. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. This process, especially when you start focusing, it can get very deep. It can get very deep on how to keep up with everything. But it is the secret to me. And this is just a secret to me landing more speaking gigs and getting more clients. Hands down, this has been my secret weapon. And so I was just wanting to give you just a taste of what some of these processes may look like. I give you a little behind the scenes. I don't share all the time, but just giving you a little bit of the behind the scenes of what all of this may look like. And it's going to look weird because I didn't turn off my capture thing. So you're seeing me live now. So it's going to look weird. I know. Sorry about that. I'm still learning how to use this whole thing here. But you're just getting an idea, and I could show it to you again, but processes can be very expansive. They can be very expansive, but they are necessary. They are a necessary evil for our business. And I know, I know I'm not saying, and I'm just being real with you. I could be like, oh my gosh, processes are the most fun thing ever. No, they're not. They're not, because especially if things have been in your head, processes will feel like it is slowing you down, especially when you have to backtrack. It feels like, oh my gosh, I'm not getting anything done if I got to go write down all of this stuff. But the thing is, once you do it, oh my gosh, once you do it, things will go so much smoother. Things will go so much smoother. You don't have to question what you are doing every day. You don't have to question what you're delivering. You don't have to question anything. Hey, Karen, how you doing? So that's why I'm telling you these processes. For the month of August, we actually have to slow down over here. Keep Up with Mrs. Jones has to go in hiding just a little bit, because we are working on the process for delivering Ask the Budgetologist. I mean, I didn't realize how deep it was, because, I was literally just coming on, you guys. I was just coming on and just hitting the live button. And it wasn't until probably 4 months in that I actually started writing some things down. And it wasn't until the anniversary of the show on July 1st that I said, you know what? I need to write down this whole process of how I am doing this. And that's what I started doing. And I'll actually show it to you. I will actually show it to you right now, the process for delivering Ask the Budgetologist. It is quite interesting. It is quite interesting how this all works. So I have to go in and I create a theme for each day. I create a theme, and then I have to create the marketing blurb. I have to do the show summaries. And what we're trying to do now, we're about to get 3 months ahead so that we can just do this process. I have my YouTube descriptions all here. I have the photos that I do over the weekends. I have the marketing calendar that I have to update. I have to update the archive. Some of these things I was kind of doing, the other things I wasn't. And I actually had to sit down, and I have my assistant right now that, every day I have a checklist that I have to follow to deliver this show. And today is Thursday, right? Today is Thursday. I mean, I have to go and follow my checklist, start the recording, open up OBS, things like that. Press this here, do the link here, edit this. And yeah, it was kind of sucky doing this, because it was like, this is kind of getting in the way. I like my free flowing self, but the reality was, this wasn't going to work out if I did not write down this process. But that's why I'm telling you these processes, You have no idea. You have no idea how important they are to your success, okay? Hey Vernon, how you doing over there on Instagram? You have no idea. Now I've been talking a lot, so please, if you have any questions, please let me know. Hey Joseph, how you doing? You're coming in. Yvonne wants to come search my bag. So if you have any questions around creating your own processes and what you need to do. Now, I will say I am not an expert on processes. Yes, I was a requirements manager. That was like one piece of the process. But what I'm telling you is that if you sit down with a sheet of paper, with your tablet, whatever, and go from step one, what it is that you do for that one thing in your business that is crucial to your business, and just start writing it down step by step. I even started open up Facebook, go to this tab. When I go to this tab, open up, click this and put this title into this place. Now, it sounds very in the weeds and in the minutia, but remember, if somebody else had to come and run your business for one day, what will they do? What will they do? Now, we always talk about this as far as employees and things, but I want to step to my solo entrepreneurs. Back to my solo entrepreneurs. We all have really good friends, and if something bad or something crazy were to take us out of our business, how could you bring your friend in to help you out for just a few days? In your business? What would they do? Where would they even start? Hey, Angela, how you doing this morning? Where would they start if somebody had to come into business? So, Angela, if I had to come in and run your business for a day, what would I do? Is it written down? Is it clear? Is it clear what I'm supposed to do each day so that I can deliver not the same level of service, but just to keep things floating until you get back? Karen, can I come and deliver what you do in your business? Morgan, same thing. Lisa, same thing. Savoy, same thing. Can I come in and do what you do in your business to keep things afloat? And what really struck me was last year, I had some friends who went through some pretty horrible things and their businesses shut down for a long period of time. And all of the friends, because everybody's a solo entrepreneur, it was just like, we would help. We can help. Where do we start? And because no one had ever written anything down, we couldn't be effective. So that's what I want you to do. Think of it that way. Also, think of it when you bring on assistants, when you bring on new hires. What are they going to do? How will they come in and step in and take over a process that they need to? And this has been my struggle. This has been my biggest struggle. This is why a lot of us hire social media people and we fail at it. And we don't either like what they're doing. It's because to some degree, we don't know what we're doing. We don't have a brand guide to give them. We don't have our voice written down so they understand. We don't have the type of photos that we like. This is why we fail. We don't have a process of how we're doing things. So that's why we end up failing when we hire somebody to do things. The same thing for people who want to hire VAs. You don't have a process for the types of groups that you want to go after. VAs fail at this so often because they don't know your voice. They don't know your groups. Even now I'm working with speakers. I'm bringing speakers on to help them find speaking gigs. And I'm having to backtrack and create the process of, who are you? What's your voice? Who are the type of people that you like to talk to? And of course, we do the thing of, oh yeah, like entrepreneurs. All right. There are entrepreneurs everywhere. And there are entrepreneurs in, I'm telling you, drug dealers are entrepreneurs. Do you really want to go after them? Really? Let's think about that. So this is why you got to have these processes written down, okay? You got to have these processes written down. No, and Angela's saying no, not written down and not clear. Woo. All right. And Lisa's saying nope, as you said, it's all in my head. All right, Angela and Lisa, I'm about to challenge you. I want you to take one thing that you do, the one crucial thing that you do, and I want you to write it down. And if you don't know where to start, I want you to start with onboarding clients. What is the process for onboarding clients? So that if Angela and Lisa, if I had to come and step in for just a few days just to onboard clients until you get back, What's the process? And get it out of your head, because I forget stuff. Our brains forget stuff, okay? Get it out of your head. And Angela's saying, I thought about this. If something happened to me, could someone pick up my biz and keep it moving? Thanks for talking about this. You're welcome, Angela. Yes, somebody can step in, Angela. Now, they probably won't be able to do everything, but sometimes if something happens, you just need people to keep things afloat. We don't go into ultra marketing mode. We just go to keep it afloat mode. Keep it afloat mode. And one of the things that I want to do is that I want to be able to bring people on to like sit in for Ask the Budgetologist, but I got to write down that process so that if they came in, exactly what they need to do on their side to produce at least the same semi amount of quality to keep the show going. Okay. And Joseph is saying, I spend good money on a VA that I couldn't use because there was no process. Exactly, Joseph. Exactly. A lot of us are spending money on VAs and we're expecting miracles, but they don't even know where to start because it's all in our heads. And it's literally kind of like some of you with kids and some of you with husbands, you know, our thing is, well, why didn't you do it this way? And they're like, because I did it my way. And we realize, oh, we never wrote it down. Okay. Didn't make sense to me how you do things. And also the thing with me is like, I need people to come in and step in with me, because if I'm on the road now, I'm going to be on the road speaking a lot more. I need people to be able to keep things afloat while I'm away, because even on vacation, things stop, and we don't want things to stop all the time. Heather has an early meeting. Go make some money. Write down your processes, Heather. Okay. Angela, yes, onboarding clients. If you don't know where to start with onboarding clients. Okay. Start with onboarding clients. That's where you need to go. And Lisa's saying, so do I. And Lisa, what is a VA? A virtual assistant. A VA is a virtual assistant, Lisa. Somebody that comes in and helps you out. Just an assistant to come help you do a few things in your business. But VAs are useless if you don't have a process for them to follow. Okay. Hey, Amanda, how are you doing? So today, what I want you to do is look at your processes. All right. Think about if something happened to you, if you went on vacation, if all of a sudden, you know, Oprah Winfrey called you and took you away from your business for 2 weeks, who's going to run everything? How are they going to do it? And write it down, get it out of your head. It's time to get it out of our head. We got to put on our big girl pants and step into our big CEO shoes right now and actually start documenting the processes for running our business so that when we hire people, it makes sense. If people need to step in, if something happens to us, they can do it and just keep things going. All right. That's all I have for you today. Sorry about coming on a little bit late. I wanted to set all this up so that you can kind of see some of the processes that I had to put in place. Had to put into place, and they're just getting deeper and deeper as I go. And it felt painful at the time to write them down, but it is so nice that all I have to do is like, well, what am I supposed to do this morning? All right, Phylecia, because sometimes some days I'm on it. Some days I'm firing at 20%, and it's just like, somebody give me a list and tell me what I need to do. And some days I honestly do wake up and I look at my process. It was like, thank goodness that day you were smart enough to write this down, because I don't know what I would have done without writing everything down. Sometimes you just need a list. Sometimes the brain doesn't work all the time. You just need to like, give me a list and tell me what I need to do today. And sometimes your process is just for you. And hey, thank you, Amanda. And Angela saying, get it out of your heads. Girl, thank you. I'll report back next Thursday. Yes, report back next Thursday. Today, every Thursday is Feed Your Budget Day. And this is the day we start getting into the things that feed our budgets. All right. Processes are your secret weapon to making money. Get all of these things that you do out of your head and write it down. Write it down right now. All right. All right. I'm going to jump off. I got to go do some income producing things today. So I'm all dolled up because I got to go leave the house. I'm going to doll up for you guys more often. All right. So I'm going to sign off here on Facebook first. It is Thursday. Do you all know it's almost the end of July? Woo! Hope you're ready for it, because we don't have that many more months to go. All right. So just think about that, because we got to talk about money. Tomorrow, it is Friday. We're going to have a little bit of fun. All this month, we have been crash budgeting. We've crash budgeted for vacation. We've crash budgeted for conferences. Tomorrow, we're going to crash budget for all those destination weddings that you got invited to this year, because those puppies do add up. All right. So for those of you on Instagram, thank you so very much. You know, I appreciate you. If you need me, all you got to do is DM me and go check the link in the bio if it's time for us to schedule a session on what you need to do with your processes inside of your business. Take care. Happy budgeting. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow. For those of you who are still here, hanging out with me over at Facebook, I appreciate every last stinking one of you. Lisa, Savoy, Yvonne, Heather, Joseph, Angela. Who else is on here? I see a lot of folks popping in. Karen, thank you. I feel like Amanda, if I missed you, I'm so sorry. I try to go fast, but if you need me, all you got to do is go to keepupwithmrsjones.com/jumpstart. If it's time for us to have a conversation about your processes, I have an epic process for doing projects. I did a behind the scenes, and I'm not going to tell you which month because I gave you the entire process of how I launch projects over here, all on the whiteboard. So if you need help with any of this, if you need templates on it, you gotta schedule a session, because this is not something that I really teach on or will create programs around, but I want to help you in any way possible if it's time for us to do that. So take care. Happy budgeting tomorrow. Hey, Christopher, how you doing? That's okay. You're late, but you're here. Just go back and watch the replay. So, and thank you so much, Angela. Thank you so much. So go watch the replay, Christopher. Everybody else, I'll see you tomorrow morning. We're going to have a little fun and crash budget all those destination weddings. Woo, sometimes it's just better to send a gift, and I'm going to tell you why tomorrow. So take care. Happy budgeting. Bye. I need to find my buttons first, though. All right. Bye now.